Good morning, Rogers High School. I'm Miss Riggs, and I'm here to do credit checks for you. Teachers, you should have a copy of each student's transcript available to you now. If you've not already passed them out, please do so. Ninth graders should also have a credit check sheet from the teacher. Those of you that are 10th, 11th, and 12th graders should already have a sheet that's been started back when you were ninth graders. For teachers, if you have some new students and you haven't had a chance, we still have copies of the credit check sheet in the counseling office if you want to send somebody down for a copy for your new students. Hopefully the transcripts are in good shape. If you have a problem, for example, if you don't have the transcript for a certain student in your homeroom, if you will email me, I'll try to get that up to you during this time. If I can't, I'll get it to that student some other time. Of course, my email is kathleen.riggs@rpsar.net. Credit checks, there's two sides to the sheet. One is SMART Core, one is Core. SMART Core is important for those of you who are trying to graduate with honors. It's part of the requirements for honors graduation. Core, the basic difference between SMART Core and Core comes with the math and the sciences. So if we will start at the top there with the English, each box is a semester that you have to complete. We suggest you look at your transcript. If you've completed both semesters of ninth grade English and have a passing grade, no NCs, then you can mark those off with a slash mark. If you're currently taking, say, 10th grade English second semester, you can put a T on there for taking so that you'll know. And then once you pass it, then next year when we do credit checks, you can slash that off. Everybody needs 4 credits of English. And those are the top line. Mark what you have. Some seniors, you actually, if you took College Comp 1 and passed, you have completed your 12th grade English. So congratulations. For science, for SMART Core, everybody must have biology. And then for SMART Core, you must have 2 of the 3, physical science, chemistry, or physics. So 2 of those 3, biology plus chemistry, physics, or physical science, 2 of those 3. For core, you have to have biology, and then you have to have a physical science, and then your third science is your choice if you're graduating core. For social studies is the same for everybody. It's spelled out completely. American history, or U.S. history as it's sometimes called, world history, and then a semester of economics, a semester of civics. Those of you taking AP Government, yes, that does count as your civics credit. A semester of it would be civics, and then another semester, the extra second semester, would be an elective credit. The next, skip down to the math. We kind of save math kind of towards the end because it can be a little bit more confusing. For SMART Core, you have to have Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and a math higher than Algebra 2. For core, you do not have to have the math higher than Algebra 2. You do have to have algebra, you do have to have geometry, and then your 4th credit can be higher, or your 3rd and 4th credit can be higher. It can be just Algebra 2, bridge to Algebra 2, depending on whether you have done geometry 1st and 2nd part or algebra 1st and 2nd part. If you've done algebra 1st and 2nd part and passed it, that's 2 credits of math. If you've done geometry 1st and 2nd part and passed both, then that is 2 credits of math, so that would be 4. Those of you that do that can still get to Algebra 2, and that is pretty important, especially if you're planning to go to college. But really, Algebra 2 is also important, studies have shown, even for those going directly to the world of work. So with math, if it's SMART Core, you have to have a math higher than Algebra 2. If you're core, you still have to have 4 maths, but they don't have to be, one does not have to be higher than Algebra 2. And then going back up a line, we've got the credits, the little half credits that everybody's got to have. You have career technical, which includes agriculture classes, family and consumer science, medical classes, the shop classes that most of you take at Heritage, This broadcast journalism class is a CTE. Those are all marked in the course catalog. If you want to look or if you want to pull it up online, you can look at that. If you have questions, again, about whether a class counts as CTE, then you can definitely either come talk to your counselor, email your counselor to make sure. Health, a half a credit of fine arts, which is drama, choir, band, orchestra, and an art class. All of those count as fine arts, including graphic arts. It's a fine arts. Oral comm, and then a full credit of PE. All Rogers graduates have to have a full credit of PE. Then all the other classes that you take go down into the electives. Notice for electives 1 at the bottom, we have no PE or courses beginning with 6 or 9. So don't put any extra PE in there. If you have a full credit of PE, then the rest of your PE should go down to electives 2, which includes athletics, for example. If also outdoor ed is a half a credit of PE. It's also a half a credit of science if you complete the whole credit. If you don't need that science, you could put the half a credit of PE up in the PE, and then that ecology part of it goes down into electives 1. The classes that begin with 6 or 9 are like tutors, keyboarding, student council. Those are the classes that begin with 6 or 9. If you have any kind of questions, if you're thinking, oh, I don't have a correct number of elective 1s, come ask your counselor, because we're also keeping up with this, so probably your counselor would have alerted you to that if you did not have it. Remember, if you take 4 sciences, then that 4th science is an elective. If you take 5 credits of math, then that 5th credit is an elective. So just because it sounds like it's a required class, it may be that you're choosing to do an elective. AP Human Geography, that's an elective because it's not required to graduate. Again, if you have, and then you need 24 credits to graduate. So seniors, you should be looking that you either have 24 or you're going to have 24 by what you are taking this year. The rest of you, look and make sure that you have what you need to graduate. Or are working, on what you need to graduate. Next week, on Tuesday, January 30th, there will be a presentation about course selection for next year for 9, 10, and 11 seniors. You don't have to do that because you are leaving us in May. So there will be another video on Tuesday, January 30th. Make sure that your credit check is up to date so that when you start picking your courses for next year, you will know what you need to take. Again, questions, Kathleen.Riggs, and I will look forward to the questions and talk to you next Tuesday.